Tell me about Mayor Adams, because I do remember, like, he was like, I'm all for immigrants, but now I'm like, I got problems. And what do you think that leads to? Because this is the one thing that I'm hearing is that the quote unquote blue cities that, to be honest with you, like a city like New York, a city like Boston, right, have survived and thrived. I can argue that if it wasn't for immigrants and migrants in Boston, Boston wouldn't be the city that it is in the last 10, 20 years. And there's data for that. Like the economic impact is there. So this is not an opinion. This is actual economic fact. So talk to me about Adams. It was a very deeply reported piece. It showed his, I don't know, like if you flipped and you flopped, like that was a big flip flop there. I mean, your quotes were pretty clear. He was all for immigrants. And now he's like, let's get tough because I got problems.
Yeah. On Wednesday, I called 25 people, which is definitely not normal for me. I was like, holy crap. This is because like, I just knew there were those different pieces and we had to get straight where he's been on this issue. Like you were saying, welcoming the buses, all of a sudden changing. There was a Cuomo ally in the story. And look, I understand that Cuomo people are just like tired of pile on Eric Adams. But I did think it was really interesting because Cuomo's not some like bastion of the left. And they were just like, this guy is trying to have it both ways. It's like nakedly sort of embarrassing, like what he's doing, which is equating and conflating the migrant issue with illegal immigration. Like they were like, these migrants have asylum reasons they can be here. And so I thought that was like super fascinating. And just this, when you stack up in a piece all the legal issues he has and all the stuff that he started saying after Trump won, and then you realize that like he's the many ways in which he's like angling for a pardon, that really scary to people. And just like the sort of data and surveillance watchdog who's like, New York has all this data on its residents. I remember one time I went to, after, again, speaking about mass deportation not being new, Trump floating this in 2015, 2016. And I looked at the stats. I was like, okay, in Corona, Queens, 1 in 5 people are undocumented. In Jackson Heights, 1 in 6 people are. Those two places are back to back. If for Trump to execute the mass deportation policy that he wants to do at the level that he wants to do it, he needs these mayors to help. You know, the Boston mayor, the Denver mayor, the Chicago mayor, the LA mayor, they're all like sanctuary cities. We're going to fight Trump. And Adams is like, well, let's see what happens. This is, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Statue of Liberty and our history of immigration in New York. Like, so that I just thought was such a fascinating dynamic.